The symbol of the pentagram. The pentagram symbolises the four elements: water, fire, air, earth, combined with the fifth element, which is ether. The 5 points are coloured. Blue represents water, and its symbol is a downward pointing blue triangle. Red symbolises fire, symbolised by an upward pointing red triangle. Earth symbolises by green. It's a downward pointing green triangle with a line through it. Yellow is symbolised by the upward pointing triangle with a line through it. Ether, the circle, is white with a dual arm cross in the white circle. The upward pointing triangle goes to the esoteric roots of Christianity, but this has been occulted. The positive configuration of the pentagram has the element of spirit at top, place of the head, and the forces of nature or matter are below it. All four elements are derived from spirit at the source at the top. Spirit at the top of the pentagram gives a special importance, whereas in the inverted pentagram, where the spirit is at the bottom, it symbolises thrusting spirit into the ground, burying spirit. That's the negative aspect of the pentagram. The positive aspect raises the four elements. The negative aspect buries them. Venus. The 5-pointed star in the upward configuration represents the goddess Venus. Venus is one of the stars of the stellar cult. Venus has an orbit when viewed from Earth that traces a pentagram. Venus is the Roman goddess Diana, Mary in the Christian tradition, Isis in Egyptian mythology, and Semiramis in Babylonian mythology. The upward pointing pentacle is a positive and powerful symbol. The pentacle is a pentagram with a circle around it. Now in this symbol, Adam is at the top, at the place of ether, at the head, and Eve is at the bottom. The Hebrew characters at the feet and arms, where the four letters of the matter are YHVH. In Hebrew, that's Yav-He, Vav-He, the Tetragrammaton. The two words transliterate into English are Jehovah and Yahweh. At the top point above the head is the Hebrew special character Shin. Shin, at the place where spirit is, means light. Shin is at the top because the person has received light, has become enlightened. They have placed Shin in the proper configuration at the top, ruling above the four elements, not at the bottom as in the inverted pentagram. Spirit rules the air, the earth, water and fire. Now suppose you include the character Shin at the place at the top where ether is on the Tetragrammaton. Now that alliterates into English as Yeshua or Jesus. Jesus is the way out of materialism, the way out of the four lower elements. The Tetragrammaton represents the source, the divine. The name of Jesus, Yeshua, represents following the light, being sovereign, understanding one's divinity, and living that way. The esoteric meanings are not about anthropomorphized God and his physical son living on earth. When you include Shin in the middle, you get Yav-He, Shin, Vav-He, Yeshua. The words Adam and Eve in the symbol are used to represent the chemical wedding coming together of the left and the right brain hemispheres, coming together of the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine. It is a symbol of the inward qualities of consciousness. It's the coming together of our emotional feminine principles and our actions, the masculine principle, through wisdom, because the light is at the head. When our actions and our emotions unite, guided by wisdom, which is the primary guiding force of our actions, we become enlightened and embody the divine operating principles of the physical world. The symbol is about ruling consciousness, in other words, dominion over one's thoughts, feelings, and actions. And these three things, when they're not in conflict, in other words, when we have faith, knowledge, and when there's action, there is change. But without action, then all the knowledge and faith is dead. It's dead without action. The flag of a Muslim country shows the star Venus and the crescent moon, representing sovereignty and the divine. The star is used in conjunction with sovereignty, true self-ownership, and self-respect, understanding the inner processes and ruling them with self-mastery, uniting consciousness as you think, so you feel, as you act, and there is no contradiction between those three aspects. The star represents non-dual consciousness or sovereignty. Until consciousness is the goal, with unity consciousness, then all of these authentic hidden traditions, they attempt to raise the initiate's consciousness to the point where they are sovereign. And they understand natural law, they have respect for themselves, and they have respect for others. Moving on to how the five-pointed star is used in advertising. Advertisers use the five-pointed star symbol because they know that people desire freedom. They want their product to be a proxy for that freedom. Subconsciously, people know that the five-pointed star represents what the symbol represents, and it's how it has been used for thousands of years of representing freedom. And that's embedded deep in the subconscious of the human psyche. Texaco Global is a complex symbol containing a circle, a star, and the Hebrew letter T, which is Tau, the Tau cross. If you're not going to get sovereignty from a gasoline company, you're not. The Tau cross, the capital T, represents the hammer, and it is a symbol of authority and divinity. The Tau is at the top of a red mound. The colour red represents needs and wants. The inverted pentagram. Now this is a satanic symbol. In place of Adam and Eve are Samael and Lilith. And in the centre is a goat's head, Baphomet, or Lucifer. Spirit is at the bottom of the pentagram. It's thrust into the ground, uplifting materialism and burying spirit. Baphomet represents pure willpower, divorced from the sacred feminine, without wisdom. Now, Samael and Lilith represent the two out-of-balance hemispheres of the brain. Samael is the out-of-control male aspect of consciousness, and Lilith is the out-of-control feminine aspects of consciousness. Samael represents pure logic, without compassion, without knowledge, and without wisdom. Lilith is the dark goddess, the right hemisphere gone astray, awry, overwhelming desires, addiction, self-loathing. The archetypal symbol of Lilith is the old hag, the witch or Medusa. The Red Queen in Alice in Wonderland is an allegory of this dark goddess. It's cognitive dissonance, which is not being able to accept information that contradicts one's belief. An example of right brain imbalance. Another example is when people will not accept the truth because they do not like how it makes them feel. This is the Lilith principle at work. A properly functioning brain can gauge the validity of information and reserve emotional judgment to get to the truth. Samael and Lilith's unholy marriage is the chemical wedding's disillusion. The Hebrew characters on the pentagram, starting from the bottom, where spirit is buried under the weight of the physical world, is the Hebrew character Lamed, L. To the right is the character Vav. Top right point is Yod, next Tau, and finally the Hebrew character Nun, N. Together, L-V-Y-T-N spells Leviathan, a demon that is spoken about as being the beast, a completely uncontrolled consciousness. A person not in control of themselves is under Leviathan of the material world that rules them from above, and their spirit is buried under materialism. They are spiritually dead. The spirit is in a state of disillusion, will, without wisdom. The octagon, an 8-sided polygon on the crown chakra, represents mind control. The octagon is one of the favourite symbols of dark occultists. It's a symbol of how they like to lock people into a prison of their own consciousness. The crown chakra is at the highest level of awakening to cosmic awareness, and by placing a black octagon on top of it, they are symbolically closing higher consciousness and mocking a police officer. Police symbolism is full of dark occult symbolism. The police are generally unread people and do not understand how occult symbology is being used against them. They have no idea how they are being mocked and thereby shut down from higher spiritual development. Police do the bidding of their masters. They have no idea that they are being referred to as dogs. Police do it for a paycheck because their god is money. Police and the military are often in complete contravention to natural law, like the Nazis following orders for a paycheck and a pat on the back. The octagon and the hypercube symbolism is a massive topic, and we'll cover that in further detail in a later chapter on chaos sorcery. The truth is that which exists in the present as it existed in the past, and the past is present moments. Truth is a wave function collapsed down to particles that form the present moment. The truth is that which has existed in the past as present moments and in the present. The future does not yet exist because the conditions and the choices create the future which has not arrived. There are just a few present moments that do not exist right now. They are just like a wave function of possibility. Perception is a reality that they want you to accept as proof. Our perception is just how we see something at a given moment. It does not mean that it is true. Everybody's perception is not equal. Everybody should strive to get to the truth, so that perception is harmoniously, not thinking that perception is reality. So we've come to the end of part 3 on our series on subversive symbolism. Join us on part 4, where we'll be looking at the all-seeing eye and the pyramids